Today we got two brand new heroes released into the game with absolutely amazing kits. It's time for a first look. Welcome everybody, welcome. I'm BearCozy. If you don't know me, I strive to make not only entertaining but also educational videos. And today I want to take a look at the brand new heroes just released, and they both have amazing kits. Starting with the first one, it's going to be under the Lacer faction, and that is going to be Muriel. Now Muriel just came out. She's actually pretty good. I like the way she looks. She's got a lot going on. She's got a huge spider right up top here, and they're weaving some kind of web back here. But she is actually really neat. What makes her really good is her skills, of course. Looking at Muriel, she's actually a wood element, which is very interesting considering she has kind of a darker theme going on. I would have thought she would have been a dark hero, but nevertheless, let's take a look at her trait, and we'll talk about what her trait is. Now, Power Rate is her trait, and she actually has an aura. When a team member with 4 or more positive effects attacks, immediately launches a bonus attack up to 1 time per round. Now, the way that I'm reading that is that hero immediately launches a bonus attack, not her. But we still have yet to do some testing, so we'll see if that's actually her or not. The way that I'm reading this is the team member with 4 or more positive attacks will launch a bonus attack that will go hand in hand with Nathalia. So moving on to her basic, looking at her basic, Beam Strike is her basic. I'm not a big fan of what they did here with the level ups here, +10. No description afterwards. Feels very rushed, very lazy, and I'll show you another example of that later in this video. But her basic deals 130% damage to one enemy and removes 1 negative effect on the team member. That is actually pretty good. Moving over to her special, Dark Circle. This is what, in my opinion, this is what makes her very good. Looking at Dark Circle, at the end of the turn, if a team member doesn't have 3 positive effects, she applies random stats up to all team members for 2 rounds until all team members have 3 or more positive effects. Now, what this means is if one team member does not have 3 positive effects, that means you can still run other heroes with a few other positive effects, and she will continue applying positive effects until the hero that does not have any buffs will have 3. So that is interesting, meaning your other ones can have a lot more than 3. So if one hero of your team starts with 3 and the other one starts with 0, she will continue applying positive effects until all team members have at least 3. That is very interesting, and she can do that 1 time every 2 rounds. And they are random, so sometimes this can throw off your speed tune or the order of your team that your team goes in. So keep that in mind. But the special is very interesting. Now, looking at her ultimate is called Doom Skeleton. She deals 150% damage to all enemies and applies Attack Down 2. Attack Down 2, of course, is a negative 50% attack. And we are now starting to see Skeletal Force. So Attack Down 2 is applied to the primary target for 2 turns, and also applies Skeletal Force level 2 to all team members for 2 turns. Skeletal Force damage is increased by 8% for each positive effect on this hero. Again, her ultimate is working really well with her special, and her special works with heroes like Nathalia that put up buffs on herself. So that is really good. I'm curious to see how good she does. Very similar to Shane, not exactly the same. Shane is probably still better for Banker, but she does look like she has a really nice kit. And of course, she's a legendary support hero. Moving over to Punk, who is in the Soul Plunderers faction. Now, Punk is a goblin. I'm not sure why they named him Punk. His nickname has been Junk, so I've been seeing that in my Discord. That's been pretty funny. But he also has a really interesting kit, and he looks like he's geared a lot towards Arena. Now, looking at him right now, he is a Dark Element, which means he's not going to have a high chance for you to summon. But his kit is pretty good. He looks like he will work with Tia really well. Let's go ahead and look at his trait. His trait is called Void Suppression. When an enemy receives defense up, damage reduction, or max health up effects, immediately removes 1 positive effect of the same type on each enemy. 2-round cooldown. So that is really good. Very good in Arena, especially versus Shark Solandre. That is on his trait. Looking at his basic, Frost Projectile deals 110% damage to one enemy and then the same amount of damage to another random enemy. Each attack has 60% chance to apply frozen to the target for 1 turn. So like I said before, he looks like he will go really well in Arena with Tia. And then, of course, levels 2, 3, and 4 upgrades. I'm not a big fan of this lazy design. Almost no information here at all, and it feels very rushed. Moving on to his special. Night Cloak is a special. Reduces the cooldown of all team members' area damage abilities by 1 turn. That's actually pretty good. Area damage abilities by 1 turn reduction. That's something very good. Arena typically doesn't last too many turns, but that can be useful, especially if you are freezing them. And then looking at his ultimate, Murky Chain is his ultimate, deals 150% damage to all enemies and applies Dark Spread 2 to all team members for 2 turns. Dark Spread 2, which should actually be Dark Spread, we'll get to that in a second. So the AoE damage is increased by 35%, which is very interesting, and that is Dark Spread, not Dark Spread 2, because if you look at the upgrades, if we go down, ability cooldown is reduced, and then if you throw some books into him and fully max him out, Dark Spread is now upgraded to Dark Spread 2. So right up here, this should actually be regular Dark Spread, not Dark Spread 2. Once again, this is very, very rushed just to get it out. More heroes is not necessarily better, but that is just my opinion. So first impressions, he looks very ugly, very basic, gray shoes, gray pants, gray shirt, and then just a purple jacket and a hat. Very troll-like, not really much going on. Muriel is much better looking. I think Muriel has a really good kit, but he will also do really well in Arena as well. So that is the first look on these new heroes. I would love to know what you think of these heroes. Let me know if you are pulling for any of these, if you are hoping to get any of these. With that said, do me a huge favor, hit the like and a subscribe down below. Also, leave me a nice comment. And for more BearCozy videos, check out the top right.